Bizarre Brain Comics.
Oh, hello, my comic book friends, and welcome to Bizarre Brain Comics. I'm Gary, your host. And this is where I like to take a look at some older comics, talk a little bit about the characters and creators, and examine the stories and the art. And this time we're going to look at something very unconventional, unusual, and actually something I'd like to see more of. We're going to look at Spectra. A brief look at issues 1 and 3 of Spectra. But this isn't from a regular, from a comic book company or self-published or anything like this. No, this is from the American Physical Society, part of Physics Central. Spectra is the original laser superhero. And this is written by Rebecca Thompson Flagg and drawn by Carrie G. Johnson. And this third issue is half of it is also drawn by David Ellis. I know a David Ellis. He was a shipmate of mine, but not this David Ellis. And this is the title. This first one is from 2010. The issue 3 is from 2011. And this is an educational comic. It's you read them. It's for kids, to help hook kids into being interested in real science. In this case, physics. The first one is all about lasers, and this number 3, and the second one would have been about lasers too, because it was kind of continued, but I don't have issue 2. And then the second one is about laser and gravity. So our main character is Lucinda. We'll take a little look here at her. And okay, the creators involved in this project are not professional comic book people by any means. They are all part of the American Physical Society, and have produced this thing. I've got some problems with some of the art and the way it's done. I don't care, but I just speaking as a comic book, like the thing is drawn on a tablet, and it looks like a tablet or on a computer screen using software instead of on paper, and then with the computer using stuff for the background. Some of the perspectives are wonky and stuff, and the figures are a bit on the inconsistent side, and that's okay too for what it is. It's just to hook specifically kids into being interested in physics. And you can see what I mean here, some of the computer stuff and some of the wonky perspectives. And here, this is Lucinda going to school. Here it says Nikola Tesla High School, but in the other issue it says that they're in middle school, still at Nikola Tesla middle school. So take your pick. And here we meet her friends. Lucy's friends. They go into a physics class. They got a new substitute teacher. Her name is Miss Allen. And she's a substitute teacher. And then she starts talking about lasers. Talking a little bit about the origin and creation of lasers, and talks about this website, which is a real website for Laserfest, and the whole comic project is for Laserfest. And Laserfest was to commemorate 50 years of lasers in 2010, since the invention of the laser, and shows modern day uses of lasers, etc. And but this is one of her friends gives Lucy a CD, and when she holds it in her hand, it starts playing. She doesn't understand why, and other stuff. And she it just goes to show, it doesn't explain how or why, but she has developed laser powers. And so she can play a CD without the CD player. She can, and she can fly and has other things. She can be reflect herself right off of a mirror. If I can get this page open, and then and just go right through glass without breaking it and stuff like that. And here she is, just doodling along and unintentionally, just running her fingers along the lockers, and all the locker doors fall apart because she had cut them with her laser powers. And she gets in trouble. But then something shows up. Oh, here. And here's another deal. The incorporate photographs and computer-generated imagery for the backgrounds and stuff. And here we see that Miss Allen is secretly misalignment, and she's deducing Lucy's laser powers, and she needs her. She tries to become close with her friends to kind of coerce Lucy into wanting to help her. Then she snatches all her friends. See, the stories here are only like 12 pages, which is fine. And she's kidnaps the kids and coerce Lucy to come to her. Come to do her, help her, be her subject for whatever. She concocts a brief costume, gets there, calls herself Spectra, and here, instead of like dramatic, of course they're limited space, but instead of dramatically showing these obstacles that she has to go through, like using her laser powers, Spectra tackles each task. She cuts through a solid metal door. She changes her wavelength color. And her appearance and blends and goes through some glass and discovers a new power, diffraction, where she can have optical illusion duplicates of herself, etc. And this is when she just shows herself as misalignment. And misalignment had opened the cage, the laser cage, to free the friends, but then said, "No, not so fast, little girl. Why do you think I kidnapped your friends and brought you here? I needed to see your power." So she throws her special glasses to her friend, who deflects all the lasers from the cage with the reflective surface, and misalignment gets away. The kids are saved, but we promise to see misalignment again, or of course I don't. That would have been an issue too. But it's cute. It's kind of it's kind of fun, and this is. I think this would be great for kids. Then this issue 3 here, instead of calling her Spectra, the original laser superhero, here she is the Laser Fest superhero, and it's dealing with force. And this is this is more about an accidental menace than an intentional menace. Her friends, they're gabbing, doing a lot more gabbing here, and character stuff going on. And one of her friends' uncles, whose name is General Relativity, is the new physics teacher. Her friend's uncle, and it shows how physics is used in football, because one of the kids are a football star and stuff like that. And here's some more of the kind of wonky computer stuff, which doesn't mix well. Just like I said when I did the Nancy Drew graphic novel, the computer-generated imagery doesn't mix well with the hand-drawn imagery. But that's just being nitpicky. If it were professionally produced and publication for general sale, I would have more of a problem with it. This is what I'm just being nitpicky is artistically, but it's perfectly fine for what it is. And we learned more about about science, about physics. There's some more just character gabbing stuff, material. Gets the the general tries to get Spectra to help him with his experiments, which is fine. He's no coercion or anything. Involve also they've got a dance to go to, and for the personal conflict and stuff. He's doing an experiment on gravity, especially something of a black hole, trying to generate a miniature black hole, and see how her powers deal with that, etc. As a demonstration for a light experiment. And again with the photos for background. Then this is when the artwork changes to the other guy, who looks like a little more like a manga influence, and possibly a little more consistent on the in the figures. And here in part 2, but that's immaterial. She tries to experiment, and she winds up getting stuck inside the thing. They cut off the power, and then they've got a gauntlet, basically, of physics-oriented stuff to get through, to get out of there, which was unintentional. And I don't. There's no explanation why, but it doesn't matter. Teaching stuff about, the physics and how to overcome these problems with their knowledge of physics, and finally they get to the dance and having a good time. Then we have little bios of our creators. Rebecca Thompson, head of the public outreach, she's a writer at APS and co-creator of Spectra. Kerry G. Johnson is the art director at APS and co-creator of Spectra, and his artwork has been published in various newspapers, books, magazines, and websites, etc. And David Ellis works in the APS editorial office in Ridge, New York, developing electronic and graphic design projects. A comic book fan his entire life, David considered drawing Spectra the perfect combination of his day job and his dream job, and stuff like that. And it's a lot of fun, and as I said, something very unusual for comic book nerds like us. And I'd like to see more stuff to help get kids more interested in the sciences and in stuff like this. And that's what the whole thing is for. So that's all I have to talk about this time here with Spectra, the original laser superhero from APS, the American Physical Society. Ooh, yeah. Okay, thank you for joining me. Please like, share, subscribe. Leave your comments down below. Tell me what you think of Spectra. And remember, comics are art.